Have Aloha Friday. No, just kidding. It's it's Have Aloha Will Travel, your number one podcast for Hawaiʻi information, Hawaiʻi news. We come out once every 2 weeks, not annual, just once every 2 weeks. And this is episode 44. I was actually just looking through our list of episodes on iTunes today. We have uploaded so many episodes, Catherine Todd Fox, my co-host.
Hi, I am the co-host. Yeah, we have been. And you know what? We should do a shout out to everyone who's been listening to our podcast. We really appreciate everybody's support over the past, year and a half through the pandemic and everything. We've been getting a lot of really great emails from folks and messages. So on our Facebook Live has been really fun and engaging. So thank you guys all for supporting us.
Absolutely.
Send us money. We have Venmo. I'm just kidding, kind of.
Well, we're going to start a Patreon in just a second. Just kidding. But no, absolutely. Especially right now. Thank you all for your support. I mean, we need it now more than ever. So it's really great to have such a loyal fan base. I have red hair now. Just got that out of the way. If you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, just imagine my voice, but with red hair.
Wait. So do we know how many different hairstyles you've had since COVID? I feel like this is 7 or 8.
Yeah, just about. I bleached it, and then I went black, pink, back to brown, bleached it again. Now I'm at red. There is probably a few other colors mixed in between. COVID is just a fun time to experiment with your appearance, I think.
I guess. I do like this shade of red, though. I feel like this is my favorite Kevin look.
Yeah, I really like it. It stays on in the water, which is great for me because I am constantly in the water. So a lot of hair dyes will just fall out.
No, it would look like blood, too, if it bled out. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, when I was washing it the first time, it looked like I murdered somebody in my shower. Just splash of red. Yeah, it's a fun time to experiment with your hair color, but you know what it's not a fun time to do during COVID-19 is planning a trip to Hawaii. It's really complicated right now because, I think Kat and I, we've talked about this before. It's, you can come to Hawaii now, you can get your pre-COVID-19 test and, your negative test so you can avoid the 14-day quarantine. But it's difficult to come to Hawaii just because a lot of things are canceled or, a lot of events will be done in different ways. Some things that you might have planned your trip around in years past is, it's going to be different this time around, I guess. So I think that's maybe kind of what we wanted to talk about on this episode of the podcast is here are some things you might have come to Hawaii for in the past. And here's kind of the status of them now and, maybe how you can enjoy similar things and just kind of help you, plan your trip, plan your itinerary if you really are still deciding to come to Hawaii during the winter time. We're going to be talking mostly about November, December events.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there are, I do think November and December, particularly December, because it's a break for schools and other things, and it's the holidays and it's dead of winter on the mainland, that I think Hawaii is an attractive destination, and it has been for a long time. I think the shoulder seasons for travel here is the fall and the spring, which you often find really good deals. Mm-hmm. But, we do see an influx of visitors to Hawaii during the winter months. Definitely. And they come for a variety of reasons. Now, we're not sure about how COVID has affected people's travel plans. Obviously, there is a spike right now nationwide in COVID cases. I mean, it's reaching the highest daily numbers since the pandemic started. So I feel like there are, people on the mainland are a little more cautious about traveling. Obviously, you can travel here. Our numbers have also been going up, but not as dramatically. I think we're in the triple digits again, but low 100s a day.
But that does affect how we are reopening, right? With the tiers. So we're not going to be going to the next tier of reopening until our numbers come back down.
Right. So we're currently still in tier 1. No, tier 2.
Tier 2.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, tier 2. Where we do allow, there's dine-in in restaurants, and you can obviously enjoy it with more than just people in your household, but there's still limitations on the number of people that you travel around Hawaii with. So I think the number is still 5. It doesn't have to be household. Yeah, and a lot of places still haven't reopened. Hotels are reopening slowly. I think November was the big month for a lot of hotels to reopen. Poly Lookout has reopened on November 4th. But a lot of these places, that haven't reopened yet, like Hanauma Bay is a good example. It's because it attracts crowds. And I think that's what the state is trying to do, is reduce the number of people gathered in a single space, because that's like the breeding ground for COVID, right?
Absolutely.
So, so a lot of events that, would attract large crowds, like, a couple good ones are like the Honolulu City Lights in downtown, and also the Honolulu Marathon. These are two events that have historically brought people to the island.
Yep.
I don't know about those two lights, but maybe. Definitely the marathon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the marathon is a big one.
Yeah, they've all sort of, repurposed. I mean, they're different now, but you still enjoy something similar?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So, as you're mentioning, the Honolulu Marathon, it's full on not happening physically, as people are used to. You will not see 800 people running down the road.
Like 20,000 people.
It's huge, and they're breathing all over each other, and they're all in close proximity. That will not be happening this year. They are offering a virtual marathon option. And from what I've gathered, that's pretty similar to other like virtual marathons that have been done around the globe, where you kind of just run the same distance and you record your time with like a GPS tracking app. There is 100 of them. If you're a runner, you probably have one. And then you can take a picture of that and they'll post up your picture on their website. And, it's still a fun way to get involved with the marathon community here. But you're definitely not going to be getting that same, the same experience.
Oh, yeah. No, not at all.
Not at all.
No, I mean, no, because you're just running. I mean, I think part of the allure of the Honolulu Marathon, I mean, you haven't done it. I've done like 14 miles of it, and then
that sounds terrible.
But the person I was with quit, and so we quit, and then we went to 7-Eleven and got Slurpees, but I digress. Anyway, but the fun part of it, right, is the crowd and people cheering for you along the route and just kind of being in the midst of it. But also, we are at a low elevation, so or like sea level. So it makes for serious runners, you can set like your personal records here in terms of marathons. And it's like in the winter time, so it tends to be cooler, the temperature is cooler. So people do like to travel here to run it because of the scenery. It's an excuse to go on vacation. There are a lot of good deals associated with the marathon. And then also the actual route itself is pretty beautiful. You run from, Ala Moana Beach Park area through downtown. And actually you run through the city lights, which will be on display, but the festivities surrounding it are going to be different.
Yeah.
And then you run all the way out to Hawaiʻi and back, and it's just beautiful. But what are you going to do, man? It's COVID.
Well, you still can run sections of the route. I don't think you can run the entire route because at some point you do go onto roads. Is that correct, Kat? Like you go onto main roads?
No, I mean, there are people who actually do the marathon route backwards, like before the marathon.
Oh, I see.
Well, just to be like fun about it, but you can run the entire like route. It's just that you're going to be running, like the roads aren't going to be closed. You just got to run on sidewalks and whatever. So yes, you can download the map for the marathon route and run it yourself. That's true.
That'll be in the show notes if you want to do that. And we also, I mean, I think the great part about Oahu is that we have, or Hawaiian Islands in general, we have a ton of beautiful running routes in a range of difficulties. Kat, I know you're a bit more of an active runner than I am. I mean, you wrote an article about it one time. I remember that.
But I hate running. That's the thing. I hate running, but I do it because it's the most efficient way to burn calories in a short amount of time. Anyway.
That's what I hear a lot.
Yeah, exactly. But there are beautiful places to run, and you can run parts of the route or the entire route if you really want to. The Great Aloha Run is also another one that people come down for, and that's in February, and that's on President's Day. And they've also gone virtual too. So I wonder if you could double dip that.
Maybe.
Run for the marathon and then run for the Great Aloha Run and get 2 medals?
Probably. Yeah. So, you won't be getting the same marathon experience, but there are these other running routes here on Oahu, and, you can run sections of the Honolulu Marathon. You just won't have, that same hoorah. Similarly, the Honolulu City Lights is, so that is, for people who are unaware, the Honolulu City Lights is this beautiful Christmas lights display decorations right in front of Honolulu Hale, which is our government buildings near downtown Honolulu. And they put up these giant Santa Claus, Aloha Santa or Hawaiʻi Santa Claus, and he's got his Aloha shirt on, and he's doing a shaka, all that kind of stuff. And they will be doing that again this year. But they're also encouraging people to, attend because you can go to the decorations and get your picture taken, and it's like a really good place to get like holiday cards and stuff like that. So they are encouraging people to go to those decorations and take their pictures with them. But they will not be doing their opening night celebrations, which is, definitely a big deal here.
Oh, yeah.
They do a huge parade. It's called the Electric Lights Workers Parade. That's where a lot of the public workers from all the different departments of the government kind of put on their own displays, and they drive a loop, and it's, a huge deal, and there's hundreds of people lining the sidewalk, and you definitely won't find parking for it. But yeah, that's not happening this year. Right. Neither is the lighting ceremony where they'll light the Christmas tree. But you still can go. It's good to note that, the decorations will still be up. So if you still want to plan, seeing these beautiful decorations, you can still absolutely do that. If you wanted to, avoid the crowd, I know, some people are still, I'm still pretty worried about COVID and kind of big crowds. So if you wanted to avoid the big crowds that will probably be attracted to these decorations, there's always been talk. I feel like I've always talked about writing an article about this, of the different neighborhoods around Oahu that offer just beautiful Christmas light displays. Streets that really I don't know if they're all coordinated, but all these houses they love Christmas, and they put on these gorgeous displays. Namoku Street in Kaneohe is also called Christmas Lane by residents. So you can definitely find a lot of displays there. I'm gonna butcher the name of this street name, so forgive me now. Mahinaho Street in Mililani is also a really popular one. So I actually did list a couple of these in an article I wrote about these socially distanced alternatives. So that'll be in the show notes as well, where you can find these street names. But yeah, there is an alternative to the Honolulu City Lights if you do want to, still see a lot of really beautiful displays.
Total side note, but related. At least it's related.
Okay.
Have you driven by Aloha Center lately and seen their big? So Aloha Center, which is right in between Waikiki and downtown, our largest mall, outdoor mall. It always puts up this big display of Santa, right? And it's right in the front of, I guess it's sort of close to, it used to be close to North Neiman Marcus, facing the beach, but now it's kind of moved. Anyway, it's different. Santa's wearing a mask, and I love it.
No way.
Yeah,
that's totally pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Aloha is doing some pretty cool stuff this Christmas. They're doing a contactless photos with Santa, so you can't sit on Santa's lap, but he'll be situated behind a picture frame, plexiglass or whatever, and I think kids can still go talk to Santa and take a picture with Santa. But
I love that.
I think you're going to see a lot of malls try to, still have the Christmas spirit and obviously capitalize on Black Friday, but and offer these kind of not virtual, but these alternative Christmas experiences for people. Yeah, and I think, to your point about neighborhoods, we can't guarantee that the places we list in the article are actually going to be going off this Christmas. But I will say, I was really surprised at Halloween. I think people, go all the way back to March. I remember when people started decorating their homes for Christmas in March because it brought it lifted your spirits or something. Remember that?
Yeah.
And there's still houses in my neighborhood anyway that are still decked in Christmas lights. But this Halloween, I was really surprised at how many homes decorated, even though trick-or-treating was not
allowed.
It wasn't not allowed, but it was discouraged.
Yeah.
And I think we might see that where people, because they can't go out and do, Christmas Eve things, that they might start decorating their houses more. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe.
Probably. Man, I feel like this is I say this every single year, but I swear to God, Christmas decorations go up earlier every single year. Right right when Halloween was over, I went to shoot. I forget where I went with my girlfriend, but oh my God, the Christmas decorations were already up and fully decked out. Mm-hmm. Just wait till Thanksgiving, like, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're nice. Yeah, you're definitely right, though. They're like nice to see, and they kind of do like lift the mood a little bit. And I know that Kat, you wrote about this, so maybe you can talk about this a little more. But the sunflower fields in Waimanalo, those are always a pretty popular visitor attraction. They are not doing the ones in Wailua this year. They're going to wait a year because they don't want to attract a major crowd. But I know the Waimanalo ones, they are still doing their sunflower fields just in a little different way.
Right. So Waimanalo Country Farms in Waimanalo, which is on the windward side of Oahu, they're doing a drive-through sunflower field experience. So it's similar to their pumpkin patch thing that we did I think we posted about that as well. And essentially it's just literally drive through. So you make reservations online, you pay for it online, you show up with a QR code, and you drive through the farm. They do allow for stops in certain areas where you can get out and take photos, because that's really the appeal, is people want photos for their Instagram. And it's really beautiful. I mean, people have been doing it all. So far, it opened in November 1st, and I've seen it all over my Instagram. Mm-hmm. And I think, again, it's just like, I think for a lot of people, they just want to feel normal. And I think these events, even though they're modified and in some ways, sometimes they're virtual, it does bring a sense of normalcy. Like, it makes you feel like, I know we're going through a pandemic, but I don't want to feel like I'm going through a pandemic every day. And, I like that. I feel like that, where we're going to slip is in the way we feel. Mm-hmm. We are already limited in what we can do. And I think the emotional part is what these events address in a lot of ways. Like, hey, you can still go out and do fun things and experience Hawaii in really innovative ways. And that's what I feel like the Sunflower Field experience offers.
Yeah, you're definitely right. I was actually, I got a little bummed this week thinking like, man, me and my girlfriend, we like to travel during the winter time because we like to go to cold places because Hawaii is humid even in December. It is insane right now. I know.
I'm wearing a sweater because I was just going to the only pink thing I had, and I wanted to match you, and it's hot. It's brutal. I'm not happy about this fashion choice.
I had to turn my AC off because it gets in the way of the recording, but I really wish I didn't have to do that because it is really hot today. But we like to go travel somewhere cold during the wintertime, and it was kind of sad to realize, like, we can't do that this year. There's no way. No. Everywhere or most places that we'd want to go to are still doing the mandatory 2-week quarantine.
Right.
And which is understandable. I'm not like against that or anything. It just sucks.
Well, it's interesting because the Hawaii had talked about, and we talked about this because both of us like to go to Japan. Yeah. That Hawaii's in negotiations with Japan in creating the same kind of pre-arrival testing program we have with the U.S. mainland, which is travelers from Japan could come here with a negative COVID test and not have to quarantine. But the challenge is going back to Japan. It doesn't matter if you have a Japanese passport or you're a resident. And it doesn't matter if you have a negative COVID test, you still must quarantine.
You must quarantine.
For 14 days. And the COVID test, from what I understand, talking with folks who are living in Japan, to travel and take a COVID test, it's about $350 per person per direction.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then, in Japan, like, everything is based on the honor system. When you arrive back in Japan, you are also not supposed to use public transportation. So a friend of mine whose family is from Kobe, when they went back from the U.S. to Japan, they disembarked in Narita. Mm-hmm. They drove like 10 hours to Kobe because they couldn't get on another plane. And they couldn't get on a train. I mean, I guess they could have, but in Japan, they're so honorable.
Yeah.
And I just thought, God, you're really stuck. So why spend all that money to travel to Hawaii only to come back and be quarantined for 14 days? So I don't know if that plan is going to work out with Japan unless they modify their own travel quarantine.
I'm hoping they do, so we can get a little bit of that Japanese experience. But we can wait. You're right, though. It is kind of nice at a lot of these places. Even here, just getting out of the house, just trying to feel normal again. And it's interesting to see a lot of these events and these festivals kind of take advantage of like just staying in your car. You know, like I feel like that's been a stopgap for like during Halloween, there was like a Mililani drive-through trick-or-treating, which I thought was really cute. Yeah. Where the kids would stay in the car and then the people would come up and, scare them or whatever. And then, they do the whole trick-or-treat thing. Right. Similarly, the Hawaiʻi International Film Festival, it's gone mostly virtual this year, but that's unfortunate because I think a lot of people who are attracted to like film and stuff and movies, they like the movie theater, the going to a place and sitting down and watching it.
Not me.
Really?
No.
I love going to a movie theater.
No, and then they're on their phone and it lights up.
I have a great alternative for you, Kat. The Hawaiʻi International Film Festival is offering a lot of these drive-in movie. Thank you. That was a good segue. They're offering a lot of these drive-in movie theater experiences. So you roll up in your car and then it's the movie's being projected on a big screen and then you play. I'm not too sure the specifics of it. I'm not old enough to have ever actually gone into a drive-in movie. So I don't really know how like do you like tap Braille? Morse code, like get
what?
I don't know. It's something with a radio. The last time I've touched a radio was like 8 years ago.
Oh my God.
Does it go through your radio? How do drive-ins work?
Yeah, it's transmitted through radio frequency. You just turn it on in your car.
Is that like Spotify?
Like audio sucks at a drive-in because it's based on your own car audio. So if you drive a car like your car.
Oh, brutal. But they're doing that at 3 different locations. There's going to be drive-in locations at Ala Moana Center, the Varsity Building in Mo'iliili, as well as Windward Mall in Kaneohe. So if you're on Oahu and you do want to like take the family out and go see like a movie and feel like you're actually going out to go see a movie or a film, the Hawaiʻi International Film Festival, they'll be doing stuff like that all throughout November. Oh man, I really hope that's not picking up. Someone decided to start their weed whacking. Can you hear that?
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, people just love to do yard work right when I record a podcast. I let them know ahead of time. That's why. Say, hey, I'm going to record my podcast. If you can just be really loud and annoying. It's, and you're right. Like a lot of festivals are going fully virtual. The Made in Hawaii Festival, where, a lot of like local products and clothing, accessories, fun stuff that is normally sold like at a festival location. That went all virtual, which is actually, I think, pretty beneficial for people who can't even come to Hawaii because now you can buy all these products just from a website, which seems easier, at least. And the cool thing about the Made in Hawaii one is that the website is staying up indefinitely. It's just an online marketplace now. Right. So if you ever want to buy like Made in Hawaii products, you can here, which I think is really cool. Similarly, the Made in Maui County Festival is going fully online. I think that's actually just ran. Oh, it ran on the 7th and 8th. But their website's still up. You can still purchase these products similarly. So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's I see the benefit for everyone.
Yeah.
Really.
It's a lot of ways you can take advantage of this.
Or you can download our beautiful Hawaii magazine Zoom backgrounds.
Look at how nice they are.
Right? I don't even know what to do.
You can feel like you're in Hawaii.
Yeah. But you're not.
But you're not, but you can feel like you are. You can also download our magazine on our app, which you can find on the iTunes App Store. You can always find Hawaii Magazine content on our website, hawaiimagazine.com. The podcast will come out every 2 weeks on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, pretty much everywhere where you can get a podcast. The Have Aloha Will Travel podcast will be on there. If you ever want beautiful Hawaii pictures, our Instagram account at Hawaii Magazine, as well as our Facebook account at Hawaii Magazine. Does Facebook do ads? Maybe not. Maybe it's just Hawaii Magazine.
No, it's just Hawaii Magazine.
Just Hawaii Magazine. But, you can always find Hawaii Magazine content at all of our sources. I think that's it for the podcast, unless you had anything else you wanted to mention, Kat. I know you got to go pick up your keiki.
I know.
Your young one.
Kids ruin your life, man.
Yeah, next episode we'll have a episode on how to travel with kids during COVID-19. That'll be a real fun one.
Yeah, it's called nothing.
It's called Don't Do It.
Exactly.
All right, well, thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope at least it helps you plan. If you are coming to Hawaii, I hope this episode has helped you plan your itinerary just a little bit. There are always alternatives, and you know what? Hawaii will always be waiting for you if you just want to postpone your trip too.
That's true.
All right. Well, everyone, have a good weekend. Have a good day. Mahalo.
Bye.